Hey guys, Charles here from the Chazinator YouTube channel. It's been a long time since I've posted anything, and I thought I'd try and get back into it. Now, some of you might be thinking to yourself that I quit, or have I quit training back from my powerlifting days? And the answer to that is no. I still train. Up until quite recently, I was training 6 days a week. But my goals have shifted. I'm no longer powerlifting, and I'm more focused on, bodybuilding and just kind of health in general. So what I wanted to touch on today is, although I'm still training, it's slightly different. And that's for a whole number of reasons, including my hip. Those of you who know me might realize that I have a bad hip, and despite having squatted over 200 kilos, deadlifting 250, wasn't doing my hip any good. So those are certain moves I've cut out recently. But the focus of the video anyway is, training on a busy schedule. Some of you might realize that I've had a son, and I've also been married recently. And yeah, life has changed a lot for me. I've progressed in my career as an engineer, and dealing with a stressful job. I always say the stress in your life is like one big pot. Basically, everything in your life comes from this pot. You have one pot of resource, and everything comes out of that pot. Your training might add a little bit to that stress that sort of takes out of that pot. Your job, your life with your, if you've got a kid to look after, you're a fresh dad, you've just got married, whatever it might be, you've got one pot, and all of your stress comes out of that. And today, really, I just wanted to talk about, what do you do? How do you keep training, and not kind of throw away any progress in those stressful points in your life? And I think the answer really is independent very individual. But the answer is to scale it back. In the most recent science, they're talking about how volume is king, and essentially the more volume you do, the better. And literally talking about the whole workout supersetting moves, like supersetting back and chest, for example, continuously, as the way of getting in your back and chest volume. What I found to be true for myself is quality matters a lot more than just sheer quantity. I've tried it. We've done me and my training partner, we've done constant supersets before to try and squeeze in the volume. Not only does it add extra fatigue, but generally kind of the quality of the sets aren't so good. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. Recently, I've had quite a stressful time at work, and I've had a new, my son, a new child, and I've had to scale back my own training. So obviously, initially, I came back into it with baby steps. I took about 2-3 weeks off. I was ill at the time, and also, initially, okay, you just need to step away when life demands it. But when I came back to training, I actually came back with a kind of reduced split. So before I was doing push-pull legs, and I was training 6 times a week to hit every muscle group twice. Now that I've come back to training after having my son and dealing with this kind of more stressful period of my life, what I'm actually doing is push-pull legs. One upper session later on in the week that's focused primarily towards back, so that's 2 back exercises, 1 chest exercise, and then biceps, triceps, and we've actually been warming up with, on push day we warm up with a side delt move on the cable machine, and on pull day we warm up with a rear delt move, again on the cable machine, rear delt crossovers. So what that's done is basically focusing a bit more on condensing the session down, focusing cutting the unnecessary kind of long warm-ups that they're just not needed. What we've found is by starting with these smaller muscle groups, like the side delts or the rear delts, you can essentially mitigate the warm-up. This kind of aerobic warm-up, of kind of dynamic moves is nice to get your heart rate high, but it's also kind of just not needed. Just do what we've found is by doing a bit of work, basically you can count that as part of your session, and then getting straight into the warm-up for bench, say. It's a great way of condensing things down, and then just focus on progress from week to week. Progress is king, and for me, quality is king. As long as you're progressing from week to week, you're still making progress. And I would argue that in these times, if you are just piling on the volume, doing as much as you possibly can, you're probably just going to end up draining yourself and end up ill. Which tends to be what happens to me. If I take too much, if I'm taking from the pot too much in all different aspects of my life, then essentially I burn myself out, and guess what? You've got to take a whole week off training, 2 weeks, whatever it might be, because now you're ill, because your immune system is weaker, and suddenly you've caught a cold and you have to take some time off, completely off. So what's better, to do a little bit but do it properly, or to do a lot, burn yourself out, and end up having to take a good amount of time out of training? So I hope that helped, and hopefully you too can kind of scale back your training to kind of fit in with these more busy periods of your life. The other thing I'll say is in my workouts, I'm in and out the gym in 1 hour. So these are very quick workouts. I'm doing 4 or 5 different exercises depending on the workout, and that's it. Bang, I'm out, and it's all done. So again, I hope this helped, and hopefully if you're going through a busy period of your life but you still want to train, you still want to see progress, then I would suggest you try something similar and just kind of cut your program down to suit whatever it might be. Cut that training down to suit what you can do, the busy period of your life. I mean, it also helps I have a home gym, but for you might decide, actually I'm going to go to the gym and I'm gonna do 3 days in the gym, a full body workout each time, and that's going to save you on trips to the gym or whatever it might be. I'd argue you don't even need a gym. Body weight exercises are fine, especially if you're just going for hypertrophy, and you're not kind of focused on strength as much. Do something. That's what I'll say. Don't use this busy period as an excuse to let your training go. Keep doing it, but cut it back. I hope this helped. Bye for now.